Shalom, shalom, shalom. Good morning, Israel. All praise to Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushai. Hope everyone is well on this Fresh Start Friday. I just want to come to y'all with a little quick impromptu lesson. Just keeping y'all abreast on the feast days and what's coming up to get you in the spirit and get you in the spirit and the mind of the Most High, the Mashiach Yahushai, and get you prepared for the next few feast days that are coming up. All right. So we already in the second week of so-called January, or the month of Janus. All right. So we want to give y'all a heads up. A lot of y'all always talk about the calendar and the feast days, and even when we put the calendar out, a lot of y'all, you don't keep up with the feast days like y'all supposed to. We give y'all the calendar, or y'all don't see it. We post it on our social medias, on our walls, and y'all don't see it. Y'all quick to see the folly or the drama or the nonsense, but for some reason, we like, yo, the feast day is posted, So we like to do backup videos. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, Sister Crystal. Shalom, Rob Judah. Shalom, everybody that's up. So we like to do update videos also to keep you in tune with the feast days and when they're coming up. Shalom, Brandy. Yeah, is that Brandy? Yeah. So we like to give y'all an updated video on the feast days that are coming up, even though we put the calendar out. The calendar's been out for about a week and a half now for the feast days for 2022. But what we're going to do, all right, we're going to give you throughout the year, every couple of months, 2-3 months, I'll try to do a video on the next 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 feast days that are coming up, just to give y'all that extra backup, because y'all be tripping, y'all don't be marking them on y'all calendar. And I noticed with Israel, a lot of y'all don't attend the feast days because you jammed up with work, you got your children jammed up with school, and a part of that is you don't prepare in advance. But we got to start taking these feast days more seriously, Israel. We got to put our spirit into it more. We got to stop lacking. And we got to get more serious about the Most High Yahushua in these last days. So I'm going to get into that real quick. But before I start, I know the Hanukkah season just passed late November, early December. I was showcasing the menorahs for y'all. And, a lot of y'all, the water, y'all got y'all menorahs for Hanukkah. But what's coming up now, we in the second week of January. So what's coming up is the new moon 12th month, which is January 31st, 2022 at even. I believe that's a Monday. Then we have the day of Judas Maccabees / the day of NICANOR's death, which will be Saturday, February 12th. And then we got the 2 days of PURIM. We got the 2 days of PURIM, February 13th and February 14th. Sunday, February 13th and Monday, February 14th, respectively. Okay, so that's your main 4 feast days that's about to come up in the next month and a half. But really the next month, because we already January 14th, I believe. So it's a month, and then within the next month, within the next 4 weeks. So this morning, today, you need that head wrap. I got you. Just inbox me. I can get you one. This morning, today, for Fresh Start Friday, shout out to everybody, Shalom, for Fresh Start Friday, as you start off your so-called Friday, last day of the week, till the sun go down. If you keep the Friday sundown Shabbat to the Saturday sundown, we know there's a lot of debate about that going around, but that's a whole nother topic, all right? But that can be in line with this topic because we're dealing with the feast days, but we'll deal with that at another juncture. concerning all the confusion. I mean, we've dealt with it. We've talked about it in different videos. You know, it is what it is. It's either you're going to come down to the Friday sundown Sabbath to the Saturday sundown Sabbath, or you're going to come down to the lunar Sabbath or whatever hell Sabbath you keep. But without further ado, I want to show y'all what's updated. You can still purchase your menorahs for new moons, Day of Judas Maccabees, Purim. You can still have your menorahs for those feast days. So, the water for the support during Hanukkah. But what I have now is this is the mega. I gotta hold this one in front of me. It's so large. This is the 24-inch mega menorah that I have. Very large. See, it goes all the way down. It got the different tribes on the bottom, different symbols, and it has the Holy Land in Lashawan in modern Hebrew and in English. Holy Land on the bottom right there. This is the 24-inch mega menorah. This is giant. If you sit on a table, this is what it looks like. You can't even see it all the way on the table. I'll try to lift up the camera or something for y'all so y'all can get a glance of it. See that? But it's huge. All right. I got the 24-inch. If you're interested, inbox me. Get at me. All right. We also have Salakia. We got the 10-inch still with the Jerusalem on one side and the Shalom on the other. All right. If you're interested in that, you can still get them for your feast days. And we got the 5-inch mini desktop with the brass on top and the silver. Shalom on both sides. All right. So that's what we have again. I'll show them again at the end. All right. So you can still get your menorahs now for your Sabbaths just to have in your house. And for the feast days that's coming up, we burn the menorah on a Purim, the new moons, the Day of Judas Maccabees, all the feast days. So if y'all interested, inbox me. The medium sizes, like the 15-inch, 16-inch, 18-inch, those are sold out right now. I'm waiting to get more in. Those sold out during the Purim season. During the Hanukkah season, I'm waiting to get more in. So, without further ado, we're going to get down. We're going to get right into it. Salakia, y'all. I just want to open up with a little, pre-speech, for lack of a better word. So, like I said, I reiterate once again, the next feast days coming up is January 31st, will be the new moon 12th month. New moon 12th month according to the Hebrew calendar. It will be February 12th, Day of Judas Maccabees, or Day of Nicanor. Day of Nicanor's destruction, the Greek general that was destroyed on that day, and we celebrated the victory Judas Maccabees had over Nicanor and the Greeks. So it's the Day of Judas Maccabees / destruction of Nicanor's death. Destruction of Nicanor, or Day of Nicanor's death. And February 13th and 14th, the 2 days of the Feast of Purim, the story in the book of Esther and Mordecai, in the Bible and the Apocrypha. So y'all can get y'all reading on too. The new moon scripts, y'all should know the new moon scripts. Y'all should at least have a few of them. The Day of Judas Maccabees, you can read about in 1 Maccabees, the 7th chapter. And the Feast of Purim, you can read about in the book of Esther, in the Bible and Apocrypha. So the new moon 12th month is coming up. Let's get into the new moon real quick. Let's go to 2nd Ezra 6, 45 and 46. All right, with the creation of the moon and its significance. And y'all should have these scriptures in y'all arsenal. If not, if y'all new, or if these skipped over y'all during the new moon service, write them in your arsenal. Put them in your notes. And let that be that. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra 6 and 45. 2nd Ezra 6 and 45. With the creation, it goes into the 7 days of each creation. 2nd Ezra 6:45, and it reads thus and so. Upon the 4th day, or the 4th day of the Most High's creation, thou commandest that the sun should shine, and the moon should give her light, and the stars should be in order. All right? So on the 4th day, the Most High commanded that the sun, moon, and the stars should shine on the earth. Not China making a fake sun Even though some reports came out that that wasn't a fake sun that China launched. That was a rocket. And they do have a nuclear machine that they claim is so many billion times, trillion times, or whatever hotter than the sun. Which, how you know that? Your ass never went to the sun. You know what I'm saying? Right? But the Most High created the sun, not China's with their new fake sun. But the news reports came out clearing that up. They claim it wasn't a fake sun that China launched. That was some rocket, or it was a misunderstanding. But it's an actually nuclear reactor that they're claiming is hotter than the sun, so they're calling it China's sun. But anyway, that's just the folly of man and their technology and creations. 2nd Ezra 6:45 again. Upon the 4th day thou commandest that the sun, so the Most High, not China and their scientists, the Most High commanded the sun should shine and the moon give her light and the stars should be in order. Now part of the moon giving its light is the waning and waxing gibbous, which is what? All right, the filling of the moon and then the increasing of the moon and then the decreasing of the moon. We're going to get into that also. But part of that what is the new moon or the dark moon? When you read the scriptures and get understanding, you have the dark moon and then you have the full moon, which is two different things. You have the full moon and the dark moon, or the new moon and the full moon. The dark moon is the new moon. That's the way we understand it at H.O.I. Something new, something is new in its beginning, not when it's full already. It can't be new and full already. All right? So reading on, it says, and gavest them a charge to do service unto man that was to be made. Because what? From the sun, the moon, stars, especially the moon, we calculate time. That's the service that was to give unto man. The sun gives us vitamin D. It helps the plants grow. It fertilizes the soil. So on and so forth. All right? Not China making a fake sun. Right? I'm going to keep having fun with that. But the Most High said on the 4th day of his creation, he gave us the moon to go through its cycles. And we have the new moon each month. 30-day cycle. 360 days throughout the year. A 30-day cycle. And you have a dark new moon that we celebrate each month. All right, let's go from there to Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 43, 6 through 10. All right, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 43, 6 through 10. All right, and just take these down. And, of course, when the new moon service comes, we'll bring out more scriptures on the new moon to edify you. But these are just a few, all right? Right, it says Esau got the harp. Why China can't make a fake sun? It's all wickedness. Yeah, it's all imitation of the Most High's power. That's all it is. It's all imitation of the Most High's power. Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 43 and 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. So that links back with 2nd Ezra 6, 45 and 46. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times. That was the service that it was to do to man to determine time. It says, and a sign of the world, because we get different signs from the moon. Remember, you link that up with Luke 21. Remember, Luke said there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and distress upon the nations on the earth. Remember the Most High said in Jeremiah 10, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. All right. Verse 7. From the moon is the sign of feast. That's how we calculate our feast. How are we going to calculate the Passover this year? Because the new moon falls on Thursday, March 31st. The new year, new moon, this year, it falls on Thursday, March 31st. And what do? We count 14 days at sundown at even, and then we get the Passover. Because the 14th day at even, the 14th day closing is actually going into the 15th day. So the Passover will be on April 14th. At even this year, because March 31st is the last day of March, and then you're going to count 14 days, and then that 14th day at even, and you're going to get the Lord's Passover. All right. So reading on verse 8, the month is called after her name because, of course, the word month comes from the word moon, increasing wonderfully in her changing. So what does the moon go through? It goes through something called the waxing gibbous and the waning gibbous. Y'all can look that up. All right. Waxing, like wax, W-A-X-I-N-G. Gibbous, G-I-B-B-U-S. Or just look up cycles of the moon. All right. So that's why the scriptures is saying, Esau might have modern day terminology for it, but the scripture is saying the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Why? Because what? The moon shines in the firmament of the heavens. All right. So that's what the Most High said. He set these ordinances up for us to understand. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. Because the moon is what? The light for night. And you don't worship the moon. You don't worship the moon. You worship the Most High that created the moon. All right. It says, at the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in their order and never faint in their watches. Meaning everything the Most High created is going to stay in its natural order. And it's never going to faint. It's never going to rebel and say, I don't want to come out. I don't want to be the moon today. Like you simple Negroes. You don't want to be the Israelites. You want to be everything else. All right. The ordinances of the Most High don't do that. The moon is going to be the moon. The sun going to be the sun. All right. Let's go to Song of the Three Holy Children. Song of the Three Holy Children. I'm going to just read verse 40. When you read Son of the Three Holy Children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were just giving credit to the Most High of how he created everything in the earth and universe. That's what's going on in the Song of the Three Holy Children as you read down. You know, in the beginning is the little story, but as you read down, they're giving glory to the Most High for all of his creation, everything he created in the earth and universe. All right, so this is Song of the Three Holy Children, verse 40. O ye sun and moon, bless ye the Lord Yahweh. Praise and exalt him above all forever. See that? It said, O ye sun and moon, bless ye Yahweh, praise and exalt him forever and ever. So the Most High created the sun. And how do they praise and exalt the Most High? By staying in their ordinances, by being the sun, being bright, by being the light, the moon by night, staying in their proper ordinances. All right? Not China trying to make a fake sun, or not America or these different space programs trying to send rockets to the moon to blow up the damn moon to see if water is on there. Madness. All right. And the so-called white man, Moab, and these nations going to pay. But all they're trying to do is be like, they're trying to be men as gods on the earth. That's all they're doing. They're trying to be men as gods on the earth. But the Most High going to shut them down. All right. So that's it on that. So the new moon 12th month is coming up on January 31st at even. That's a Monday at even. 12th month, which brings in the month that brings in our 3 feast days in that month. The month Adar, which is the 12th month. So from there, we're going to go to Saturday, February 12th at even will be the day of Judas Maccabees, or the day of Nicanor, or the destruction of Nicanor. What is that day all about? When you read 1st Maccabees, the 7th chapter, and when you read 2nd Maccabees, chapters 14 and 15, that's your homework to understand the day of Judas Maccabees. Judas Maccabees became the central warrior and lead figure. Shalom, Amina. Amen, Yah. Shalom, everybody. Good morning. Judas Maccabees became the central leader. Shalom, Sister India. He became the central leader in the rebellion, the Maccabean rebellion against the Greeks. Judas Maccabees, when Matthias Maccabees, his father, was, before he died, he appointed Judas. Y'all can read all this in the Apocrypha and start at 1st Maccabees 1:1 and go all the way through. All right, you don't have to just skip to chapter 7 in 1st Maccabees or chapters 14 and 15 in 2nd Maccabees. You can read the whole book. You got enough time. You got 2-3 weeks where you can get the, matter of fact, you got a month where you can get the whole story of the Maccabees. So everything is centered around these celebration days. You know the history. So basically, the Most High gave us the high holy days in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, but he added days of celebration where we have victories over the heathen and killed them and put them to death and destroyed them. The Most High had days of celebration that were added to the Hebrew calendar throughout the years. So there's a debate about, I don't celebrate these days because they're not in Leviticus 23 with some Hebrews. But the Most High can do what the hell he want to do. And we're going to prove that later. We're going to show you that. The Most High can add celebration days to the calendar. It ain't in Leviticus 23. Don't give me the Apocrypha. That ain't nothing but Greek manuscripts. All right, then don't believe in it then. That's on you. All right, but as for me and my house, we going to serve the Lord, and we going to keep these feast days and celebrate them. I don't give a damn if I got to keep it by my damn self. All right. So 2nd Maccabees. Let's go to 2nd Maccabees 15, 25 through 39. Y'all can read 1st Maccabees, Shalom. All right. Shalom, Mark. H.O.I. Delaware in the building. All right. Y'all can read 1st Maccabees, the entire 7th chapter on your own. I'm going to just hit some key points right here in 2nd Maccabees 15. The ending of the book of Maccabees and the Apocrypha. It ends out with a bang. Check this out. All right, 2nd Maccabees 15 and 25. All right, 2nd Maccabees 15 and 25. It says, then Nicanor. Nicanor was a top Greek general under the Greeks when they invaded Israel and Jerusalem and was trying to destroy and eradicate Israel and bring us under Greek submission. But you had the Maccabean revolt, or what's known as the Hasmonean dynasty, or the Maccabean revolt, that rose up and fought off and got certain victories over the Greeks. And the Most High told them and appointed them to make days of celebration out of these days that they destroyed these damn Edomite enemies of ours coming into Jerusalem and trying to destroy it. And y'all can read the history on your own when y'all read the story of the Maccabees. It said, then Nicanor and they that were with him came forward with trumpets and songs. But Judas and his company encountered the enemies with invocation and prayer. Meaning what? They was pleading to the Most High and praying. They was humbling themselves. All right. And making supplication and prayer and pleading with the Most High to deliver them out of the hand. But Nicanor and the proud Greek and heathen army, they was coming to Israel with trumpets and songs and, chanting war songs and blowing trumpets like, yeah, we're going to conquer them. But they said, look, we got to plead to the Most High. All right, our weapons are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, even though the Most High allowed them to fight physically in a spiritual fight. And he was with their hands, but they said, look, our main weapon is the Most High. We gotta plead with him so we can win this battle and victory. Because remember, a lot of times, that's why Judas is he's studied by scholars in war. And when different nations have war councils over the history, they study the history of Judas Maccabees and his war campaigns, because they were amazed how with such smaller amounts of men, he was able to conquer and defeat the armies of these other nations. And you know how he was able to do that? Because the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai was with him. That's how he was able to do that. When you read throughout the wars, when they came with 65,000 men and Judas only had 10,000 men, and they whooped the hell out of the heathen Greek army, that was the power of Yahweh and Yahushai. It tells you in the book of Proverbs, the horse is prepared. That's right, Daniela. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of Yahweh Ba'ashem Mashiach Yahushai. All right, so you got to put the Lord first, even when you're fighting. All right, 27. So that fighting with their hands, check this out. 2 Maccabees 15, 27. So that fighting with their hands and praying unto Yahweh with their hearts, meaning their minds, they slew no less than 30 and 5,000 men. For through the appearance of the Most High power Yahweh, they were greatly cheered. Meaning the angels came down. When it says the appearance of the Most High, the angels came down and aided them to fight against the heathen army. Verse 28. Now when the battle was done, returning again with joy, they knew that Nicanor lay dead in his harness. Because when you read about Nicanor, it tells you what? He bare deadly hatred against Israel. So he came and he said, I'm going to wipe you Jews out and I'll make a monument up to y'all God of how I destroyed y'all. So he was a proud bastard. So when they knew that they fought them and they was like, oh, their military general and leader's dead, that ran his mouth and was so boastful and had some of the Hebrews in fear that he was going to destroy us, he's dead in his harness. All right, they put him to the Most High gave Judas and the Maccabees and their army power to put Nicanor to death. Come Yashala. All right, and it says, then they made a great shout and a noise praising the Almighty in their own language. Kwam Yashala. Ba Shema Mashiach Yahushai. Y'all already know their own language, the ancient Paleo Hebrew. All right? It said they was praising the Most High in their own language. I can imagine. I don't know. I'm not adding to the scripture, y'all. Don't Deuteronomy chapter 4 and 2 me. Revelation 22 me. I think 18. All right? But what happened? They most likely was Kwam Yashala. Or whatever they shout. They probably was shouting the Psalms in Hebrew, whatever. Praising the Most High for giving them the victory. All right? Reading on, it says, verse 30. And Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued in his love toward his countrymen. Right? There's a lot. Hold on. Let me read that again. There's a lot of meat on that bone right there. And it said, Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, meaning his own people. He was a chief defender of the people. All right? Both in body, he was willing to give his body in war. That's what that's talking about. He was willing to give his body as a living sacrifice in war. All right, that's Romans 12, 1 and 2, and Revelations 2 and 10. All right, when the Most High said, fear none of the things that you will suffer, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, be faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. Meaning he was willing to give his body as a living sacrifice in war or whatever was needed to be physically done for the nation, and mind, meaning the laws, statutes, and commandments. He was also political and religious leader, so-called. All right, political and religious leader of Israel also. Meaning what? He was ready to give himself, whether it was the law, whether it was spiritual or physical, he was going to fight the fight for his nation, Israel. How many Negroes that you have like that today? You niggas too busy out there jealous of young Dolph and shooting him. You too busy out there cutting each other up. You too busy on Clubhouse talking about who's the toughest gangster and who's hood and New York, LA, and you niggas ain't really blood, and you niggas sound stupid as hell, man. You sound so damn stupid. That's why the Lord is killing you niggas wholesale, man. Right? We reading about real warriors right here. This is what we need to be preparing our mind to celebrate. Not trying to look for the next man in the hood so you can kill him with your nonsense. So coming on Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, with this internet damn thugging. Yo, come to my city, nigga, what? Tell a white man to come to your city, dumbass. Self-hating Negro. All right, these are real men of war we reading about here. Let's read on. It says, it said, and Judas, who was ever the chief defender of the citizens, both in body and mind, and who continued his love toward his countrymen. That's a racist statement right there. Check that out. It said Judas was only about his countrymen. Right? Why? Because he was only for his nation. And he was willing to give his body. Right? Who? Benzino got rebuked on Clubhouse. Yeah. All right. But I don't know what happened with Benzino, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? These niggas they be putting their energy into this wannabe thugism. And it's disgusting, man. Read about real. That's why I love this season. From Feast of Dedication all the way up through the Passover, man. This whole December to Jan. Well, I love all the season of the Most High. But, November, December, all the way going into March, April, man. From the Feast of Dedication, so-called Hanukkah, all the way up to the Passover. Because what? Everything in between is celebrating the destruction of our enemies and the deliverance of Israel. It's all dealing with smashing and destroying Edomites, Egyptians, heathens, nations, and celebrating the Most High giving us a celebration after we destroyed our heathens, the true enemy. You Negroes want to celebrate after you kill each other. All right? You want to pop bottles on social media. Oh, that nigga's dead, yo! You just as simple as you can be. But the white man is, where was that, y'all, in South Carolina? The white man is shooting you in your back and running you over with a pickup truck. All right? Where was that at, y'all? Y'all know that story of the latest brother that done been killed. Shot him in the back and ran him over with the pickup truck. Am I saying it right? Y'all post, where was that story? Y'all can even post the article. There's so much going on in the news. Reading on 2 Maccabees 15 and 30 again. I mean, in the middle. Commanded to strike off Nicanor's head and his hand with his shoulder and bring them to Jerusalem. Now, why did Shalom everybody coming? That was in North Carolina. Yeah, I saw the marches and stuff going on. Yeah, brother Daniel, I won't shake a damn a leaf. All right, when it come to Esau, right? Won't bust a damn grape in a fruit fight when it come to Esau. All right, but got a damn cannon for your brother. And I'm going to stay on that. I don't care if y'all say, the elder always say that. I don't give a damn. I'm going to say it to y'all when y'all come back. You niggas are trifling amongst each other. All right. But anyway, reading on, it says, now why did he cut off Nicanor's head and his shoulder? Because Nicanor had raised up his arm and pointed to the temple and said, I'm going to make this a common burying place for the Jews. And I'm going to set up a public image of their destruction. I'm paraphrasing. But when you read further in the story. So when they killed Nicanor, they mocked him. They said, we're going to chop off his head. We're going to chop off his right arm that he blasphemed the Most High with and struck out his arm and said he's going to make it a common burying place for the Jews. All right, reading on, verse 31. And when he was there, he had called them of his nation together. Why I keep making all these racist statements? It said, Judas was for his own countrymen. He was for his citizens. He called them of his nation together and set the priests before the altar. He sent for them that were of the tower and showed them vile Nicanor's head. Yeah, because Esau's vile according to the scriptures, man. He's disgusting, despicable. All right. And the hand of that blasphemer, which with proud brags, he has stretched out against the holy temple of the Almighty. Doesn't a white man brag? Isn't a white man a braggadocious nation? I mean, he could do it because he's in power. I mean, you know, Esau is in power. So he can brag, but the Most High going to bring him down. The Most High going to bring down his proud brags. That's heavy right there. There's a lot of meat in these last verses of 2 Maccabees 15, y'all. All right, I can just go on and do a lesson with precepts. So much just for them, all this meat right here. But we just getting to the point of what we celebrating coming up on February 12th, 2022 at even. All right. Verse 33. And when he had cut out the tongue of that ungodly Nicanor, he cut out his tongue. See, we did this back to the nations. And then when they got us back in captivity, y'all remember the movie Rosewood? If you watch the movie Rosewood, remember when they start burning down the town and the Edomites and the clan start wilding? Remember, they went up and they had cut one of the brothers' ears off. All right, they had cut his ear off because that's what Esau was doing to us. So we was doing it back to them. Back and forth. Whoever was in power was winning the war. We was torturing each other. Cutting off limbs, body parts, everything. No holds barred. And we're going to do the same thing to them when the Most High give us this power in these last days. Why you niggas want to make a damn rap song about killing each other. All right? Spot 'em, got 'em. All right, and the Most High spotted you and got you. You simple niggas down in Jacksonville, Florida, your little rat beef biting each other back and forth since like 2015. Simple with our people, man. Repent and wake up and learn to fight the real enemy and protect your own nation. All right, reading on, it says, and when he had cut out the tongue of the ungodly Nicanor, he commanded that they should give it by peace unto the fowls and hang up the reward of his madness before the temple. Same thing said he was going to do. And they said, feed his tongue to the fowls. Feed his tongue to the vultures, the birds. All right, the birds of prey. Let them come and chomp on his damn tongue. All right, verse 34. So that he learn not to run his damn mouth against the Most High and his people anymore. Most High will mock you. You got a big fat mouth, the Most High will cut your damn tongue out and feed it to a damn vulture. All right. Verse 34. So every man prays toward the heaven, the glorious Lord, saying, blessed be he that have kept his own place undefiled, that allowed Judas and them to protect the temple. He hang also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident and manifest sign unto all of the help of the Lord. He hung Nicanor's head up so everybody could see. Remember this proud Edomite devil Greek bastard was talking crap against us. Look at them now. Like that movie, Law-Abiding Citizen with Jamie Foxx. I like that movie with the guy. I forget the Gerard. Yeah, I forgot the actor's name, but he's like a psycho contract killer, and he chops up this guy, which was righteous, even though it's just a movie. He chops up the guy's body and chops the guy's head. Saws the Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. But Gerard Butler played like the quote-unquote villain. But he took a guy that raped his wife and his daughter and killed them, and he chopped them up in pieces. Yeah, he played in 300 too. You said 3000, sister. All right, there's a 3000 movie? I know what you mean, though. All right, yeah, Gerard Butler. But he chopped the guy up when y'all watch that movie, Law-Abiding Citizen. That movie is deep, too. Not to go off in a tangent, but that movie's deep. It goes into CIA contract killers and what kind of technology and stuff how the ways they can kill you where they ain't even got to be near you to kill you. All right. You got to finesse them with love. All right. Tobit in the building. Kwame Ashala. H.O.I, New York, New Jersey. But anyway, let's finish this chapter out. 35, 2 Maccabees 15:35. He hanged also Nicanor's head upon the tower, an evident manifest sign of all the help of the Lord. And they ordained all with a common decree, in no case to let that day pass without solemnity. All right, meaning like it tells you in Leviticus chapter 23, a solemn assembly, a grave or sincere assembly. But to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mordecai's day. Anybody know what Mordecai's day is? So that's why we call, well, most of the history you read, Shalom Tobit, again, Shalom, finesse them with love. When you read most of the history, it'll tell you this day of celebration is called the day of Nicanor, or the destruction of Nicanor. But we kind of came up with the term for it, Day of Judas Maccabees also, because Day of Judas Maccabees, I know you would know him, Hina. All right, yeah. The Day of Judas Maccabees is also known as the Day of Destruction of Nicanor. It said the day before Mordecai's Day. Another name for Mordecai's Day is Purim. Why did the Jews also nickname it Mordecai's Day? Because Mordecai was a central figure. The book is called the Book of Esther. All right. And a lot of scholars tell you that Mordecai wrote it, which was her uncle, I believe. All right. And Mordecai was a central figure in the story of Purim because he was the one that really stepped up and delivered Israel, although the story is written after Esther. But Mordecai was the central figure in that story. And we're going to break that down in the next month or so when we have the Purim feast and do the lesson. But Day of Judas Maccabees was right before Mordecai's day. So the Most High took, and he took two separate time frames of us killing and destroying Edomites and our enemies, and he made 3 back-to-back days of celebration or solemn days out of them. So just like Leviticus 23 calls the high holy days solemn days. Right here, the Most High is calling the Day of Judas Maccabees a solemn day. So in other words, what? It's not a Sabbath, it's a day of celebration, but it's just as important in our history to celebrate and acknowledge. That's what the Most High is saying right here. All right, so reading on. And they ordained all with the common decree in no case to let that day pass without solemnity, but to celebrate the 13th day of the 12th month, which in the Syrian tongue is called Adar, the day before Mordecai's day. What day would that be this year? Saturday, February 12th at even, because the new moon is on Monday, January 31st at even, which is the last day of January. So you count 12 days at sundown, as the 12th day is closing out sundown, is the 13th day. So that's how we calculated from the new moon this year. The new moon 12th month, not the new moon first month or second month, like according to Esau calendar. All right, our Hebrew months are 2.5 months behind what's known as this modern day calendar today. All right, Verse 37. Thus went it with Nicanor, and from that time forth the Hebrews had the city in their power. And here will I make an end. And if I have done well, and that is fitting the story, it is that which I desired. But if I slenderly and meanly, it is that which I could attain unto. Meaning, Jason of Cyrene, which is the so-called author of Second Maccabees, said, look, in other words, I told the story to the best of my ability with the information and the history that I had. I wrote the story of the Maccabees. Verse 39, for as it is hurtful to drink wine or water alone, and as wine mingled with water is pleasant and delighteth the taste, even so speech, finely framed, delighteth the ears of them that read the story, and here shall be an end. All right, so Second Maccabees focuses more on the war campaigns of Judas Maccabees. It goes into other history, but that's the main focus, and it ends with Judas Maccabees Day, or the destruction of Nicanor, which this year, Israel, it falls once again on Saturday, February 12th at even. Make sure you go out to your distinctive congregations and celebrate. Most I will, I'll be in some cities celebrating with H.O.I. I most likely will be on the East Coast during that time. I'll probably be celebrating with H.O.I. on the East Coast, New York, New Jersey. Hey, maybe even Philly. Philly's in the building, but I most likely will be on the East Coast around that time. But wherever you at, right, Israel, celebrate, come together and keep this feast day. And that's a little very brief history of. I just got right to the point. Most High had Judas kill Nicanor, that wicked Greek bastard, and raised up Judas and Israel to conquer that army and win that battle. And he said, make a day of celebration out of this. All right. Just like I had Mordecai and the Jews during the time of your brothers and sisters, and your sister Esther had them whoop the hell out of the Greeks back then and gave them 2 days of Purim to celebrate. All right. And so that's 2 Maccabees 15, 25 through 39. Y'all can also read all of 2 Maccabees chapter 14 and all of 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and 1 Maccabees chapter 7. That's y'all homework for the next month until the feast actually comes up and we go over it to break it down. All right, from there, now we're going to go to Purim. Purim this year falls on Sunday, February 13th, and Monday, February 14th. Yes, that's right. Valentine's Day. So y'all don't have no excuse, no chocolates and hearts for your boo. All right, let's come and get some of this good history and remember the story of Purim, when our ancestors had a great defeat and defense against our wicked Greek enemies. All right, so no Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is every day for your wife, your spouse, your husband, whoever. All right, ain't nothing wrong with no chocolates. You ain't got to get no chocolate hearts, because there's a bloody history behind wicked Valentine's Day. We may go into some of that history when the feast comes. We want to focus more on the feast, of course, but we might touch on that little history. Since you see how the Most High is a mastermind, the Most High allowed Purim this year to fall on that wicked pagan Valentine's Day. Y'all should all be gathering together, whatever cities y'all in. Y'all not celebrating Valentine's Day. And just because it's a Monday, so what? Take off from work, or if you can't get off for whatever reason, tell your job you're going to come in late, or just be a little tired going to work, whatever. Rest up extra that weekend, whatever. We got 3 days to celebrate in a row, and that's beautiful. It starts on the weekend. But don't make an excuse that Monday either. Try to celebrate all 3 days. And some of y'all, it may be hard to gather for all 3 days, but at least gather for one. Gather for two. Do the, Saturday night is good for everybody, so do the day of Judas Maccabees and maybe do Purim on Monday. Or Sunday is good for some people. Where will H.O.I. Canada be located? H.O.I. Canada is not exactly up and running yet. We suggest if y'all can make it to Detroit. That's the closest thing to Canada right now. If y'all can make it to Detroit, come down to Detroit. We're still trying to get Canada. So Canada, we got brothers and sisters like scattered. It's like kind of funny with Canada. We thought that we had a group of brothers and sisters that was willing to set something up, but that kind of didn't pan out. Yeah, this is Elder Levi's friend. Yeah. Is that brother Jay? Well, there's a picture of a woman, but there's a man's name. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, let's go to Esther chapter 9 and verse 20. So, like I was saying, those are the dates for Purim this year. You got no excuse, Israel. Sunday, February 13th, and Monday, February 14th. You're not celebrating Valentine's Day, so you should be somewhere in your city's gathering to keep the feast of Purim. If you need somewhere, inbox me. Inbox me here on Facebook. Email me at houseofisraelnyc@gmail.com. Anywhere in the country, I can get you somewhere to fellowship. Most I will. All right, either with H.O.I, we got different cities or whatever. Shalom Mahar. What are you talking about, Mahar? Yeah, I got to put in this work, man. I ain't been as diligent. Go to sleep, oh man. It's I don't know, I think 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that on the West Coast. I don't even know. Oh, that's Brother Chucky. Shalom, Brother Chucky. Okay, that's you. You're using your woman's page. Okay, shalom, Mark. So Brother Mike Phil. Shalom, brother. All praises. So yeah, y'all got no excuse. All right, y'all got no excuse. And Brother Chucky, let me know the next time you're gonna be in the States. But we got we established in Detroit. So I just talked to a brother. He said a sister is coming down from Detroit to congregate with H.O.I Detroit. But I don't know. You know how close y'all might be near the border. You may not. You might be deep in Detroit. I mean, you might be deep in Canada or whatever. But the closest we got brothers and sisters scattered in Canada. We still trying to get that together. But anyway, no excuse, Israel. Y'all better be keeping the Purim this year. Y'all better be keeping the day of NICANOR. All right, the Purim and the day of NICANOR, Judas, Maccabees. Y'all better be keeping the 3 days in a row. Let's go to the book of Esther. Esther 9, 20, and 32. Now, for the Feast of Purim, you have to go back and forth. You have to go back and forth. Oh, 2 hours. 2 hours is not bad. For the Feast of Purim, you have to go back and forth between the book of Esther and the Bible and the book of Esther and the Apocrypha to get the entire chronological order of the book of the story of Esther. So we're going to show y'all how to do that outline. I'm not going to do it on this lesson, but we're going to show y'all when we do the lesson. We're going to show y'all how y'all go back and forth. If you sit down and really read it, you can figure it out. But some of y'all, it might be a little hard, like, oh, what it's saying, it took me like 1 or 2 Purims to lock it down myself. I ain't going to even front, but I eventually got it. But we'll show y'all the outline of how to jump back and forth between the Bible and the Apocrypha to get the story of Purim in chronological order. All right, this is Esther 9 and 20. All right, so what are we celebrating? What are we going to be celebrating on February 12th and 13th? The Feast of Purim. And all the feast days that we're mentioning here, what do? You cook. You try to cook before sundown so your food can be prepared by sundown. When the sun goes down, you pray. You read some Psalms. You say your regular prayers, the Lord's Prayer. You read these stories. You read these scriptures we giving y'all. Read the story. Once you finish reading the story, you do a closing prayer. You burn your frankincense and myrrh. You can put your olive oil and anoint yourself. However you want to do the service. You can read your Psalms 121, say your regular prayers, and say a closing prayer. And then you eat, drink, and be merry and feast. That's what you do on these feast days. All right, but we're going to show you a little bit more that you do with Purim. All right, Esther 9 and 20. Y'all read the whole book of Esther in the Bible and Apocrypha. Try to read it and figure it out. If not, we'll give y'all the outline. But I'm just getting right to the point right here. The last couple of verses of chapter 9 and chapter 10. Esther 9 and 20. And Mordecai wrote these things and sent letters unto all the Jews that were in all the provinces of the king Ahasuerus, both nigh and far. So Mordecai was a Benjamite, When you read Esther chapter 2, verse 6, it tells you he was a Benjamite from the house of Jair, I believe. All right. All right. Yad Mandam. All right. Brethren. All right. Show you different tribes delivered Israel at different times. So Mordecai, what he did, he found favor with the king, and he lined Esther up, which was his niece or little cousin. I always get that confused. Niece or little cousin. But he ended up raising her like a father figure. But he lined up Esther to be the queen in the Persian Empire, to get favor with the king Ahasuerus, to go against the decree that Haman the Edomite, the story is deep. Y'all got to read the whole story. I'm just giving y'all a tad bit. The Haman the Edomite wanted to destroy all of Israel throughout the different provinces or the different states of the Persian Empire. What happened is Esther being found favor with the king as the queen, and Mordecai rose up under the king, and they both pleaded to the king for the order to be reversed, and we were able to kill off all the Greek wicked leaders that was trying to destroy us and all the heathen that was in cahoots with them. And we made a 2-day celebration out of that. The Most High, Exodus 15:3, man. The Most High is a man of war. Yes, the Most High, it tells you in Purim, at Shushan the palace, we slew 75,000 heathens. And the Most High said, make 2 days of feasting out of that. All right, we're about to read it right now. Salakia. Esther 9:21. To establish this amongst them, that they should keep the 14th day of the month Adar and the 15th day of the same yearly. Remember, we just read in 1st and 2nd Maccabees 15 that we kept the 13th of the month Adar for Judas Maccabees. Now the Most High going to add 2 more. They said, I'm going to give you 3 days in a row to celebrate destroying these Edomite heathens. All right. 22. As the days wherein the Jews rested from their enemies, and the month which was turned unto them from sorrow to joy, and from mourning unto a good day, that they should make them days of feasting and joy, and of sending portions one to another, and gifts to the poor. Now, for all of y'all that want to know, well, what holiday can we give gifts if we don't have Christmas? You can give gifts on Purim. And it's mainly giving portions to one another and gifts to the poor. A good thing to do around the Feast of Purim is to give to the poor. Whether you feed them, go out and give them a package of socks, toiletries, a care package. All right, these are the things you can do. All right. Now, you can give gifts for Hanukkah. But some of you super righteous brews, you don't like to give gifts during the Hanukkah season because you say, oh, you're just trying to replace Christmas. You super righteous, holier than thou brews. So knock yourself out. Me personally, I feel you can give a gift to your family members anytime. Your children, your wife, whatever. A brother, a sister, the congregation. You know, a regular fee. It could be a new moon and you can give out a gift. There's no sin in that. But if you're the super over righteous brew and you don't want to give gifts for Hanukkah, you can give the gifts for the Purim. It's right there in the scripture. So don't be over righteous. All right. It says, and the Jews undertook to do as they had begun, as Mordecai had written unto them. Because Haman, the son of Hammedatha, the Agagite, remember Agag, the king of the Amalekites? This was the seed of Amalek, which is who? The so-called white Jew that was trying to destroy Israel during this time. Hammedatha, the Agagite, that goes back to Amalek. All right? Agag, the Amalekite. All right, so, and that's in 1 Samuel 15, I believe it is. All right, that was the Amalekites. When you read Genesis 36, who was Amalek? He was one of the descendants of Esau. And they became converts later on and became what was known as the so-called white Jews today. All right, that's what the Lord said in Exodus, that he was going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation. We was always fighting them gutter rat bastard Jews all throughout history. All right, it says, the enemy of all the Jews had devised against the Jews to destroy them, and had cast pur, that is the lot, to consume them and to destroy them. That's where the name of the feast day Purim comes from, or par yum in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, meaning lots, L-O-T-S, or destination, or fate. That's what it means. It said they cast pure, that is the lot. They cast lots on how they was going to kill us. All right, they cast lots on our destination, on what was going to happen to us. All right, it says, but when Esther came before the king, he commanded by letters that his wicked device, which he devised against the Jews, should return upon his own head, and that he and his son should be hanged on the gallows. All right, the Haman, the Edomite, he had made gallows. All right, like 50 to 75 feet tall in the air. It tells you in the history when you measure the measurements. All right, and what did he do? He was going to hang Mordecai, but the Most High flipped it and had Haman and his sons hung on Shalom Yakanan, had them hung on the gallows, and we celebrated. See, Esau always had that hanging spirit all the way back during the damn Persian Empire. They want to hang niggers. The Jews were the niggers. All right, they want to hang us back then. The white men want to hang us back then. All right, it says, wherefore they called these days Purim or Paryam. How you say it in ancient Paleo Hebrew, Paryam, P-A-R-Y-A-M, Paryam. The yum makes it plural. All right, it says, wherefore they called these days Purim or Paryam in the ancient Hebrew after the name of Pur, which it was to cast a lot or lots. It was plural because it was for the whole nation. All right, therefore, for all the words of this letter and of that which they had seen concerning this matter and which had come unto them, the Jews ordained and took upon them and upon their seed and upon all such as joined themselves unto them, so as it should not fail that they would keep these 2 days according to their writing and according to their appointed time every year. So what? This was added to the feast day calendar. In Leviticus 23 and then the ancient time, we was coming out of the wilderness. The Most High was dealing with us coming out of Egypt with Moses and Aaron and our forefathers. But throughout time and history, later on, there were other kingdoms and empires, and we had defeats against those enemies, and we made feast days. We made days of celebration out of them. Who the hell are you to tell the Most High he can't add more feast days to his calendar? It ain't in Leviticus 23. You niggas got some nerve. You tell the Most High there, and you can't say it's of man. Because what? The Most High works through man. If the Most High tell man to set something up, and is the Most High guiding him, who the hell are you, Negro, to say the Most High can't add another feast day to it? Like it's a crime in having more feast days. You over-righteous brews or something else, man. Stop it. It's petty. And the only reason why I'm getting passionate like that, because a lot of y'all will trouble brothers for keeping the feast days. You don't want to do it, then you don't do it. But it's not in Leviticus 23 me to damn death, man. I'm going to keep these feast days, whether you like it or not. You sit your ass down and mope and be angry and upset. You sit your ass down and be grumpy and bitter. I'm going to read the story. I'm going to pray. I'm going to get me some wine. I'm going to get some of that good food that the brothers and sisters cook, and we're going to rejoice and have a damn feast if it be the Most High will. By Hashem HaMashiach Yahushai. All right, reading on. It says, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation. See that? Every generation, even up until now. Doesn't it tell us in 2 Chronicles, yet when they bethink themselves? Right? Isaiah 8 and 20. To the law and to the testimony. All right? See, you got to understand something. What the Most High ordained is going to go down. Whether you don't want to do it, whatever, he's going to have a remnant of his people that's going to do it. Because it's his program. All right? Reading on, it says, according to the appointed time every year, 28, and that these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation, every family, every province, and every city, and that these days of Purim should not fail from among the Jews, nor the memorial of them perish from their seed. All right? Shalom, Yakataz in the building. Kwam Yashala. All right? I know y'all some early risers on the East Coast. All right? But the Most High gave us these days, so prepare, Israel. There's no excuse. You got a month in advance. That's why the Spirit moved me to do this video late night. All right, it's in the middle of the damn night on the West Coast. I forgot, I lost track of time, but Spirit came on me, do this impromptu video, so nobody got an excuse. Right, yeah, God. How you read that and say we not going to acknowledge. Yeah, Israel is bugged, man. Ezra's Benjamin. Shalom, sis. All praise to the Most High. Yeah, Israel's still going to do what they want to do, man. We got to get out of here. You know, we with Israel, man. Just this nation, man. We got to get out of here. But if the Most High give me strength, I'm going to endure it to the end. It's going to be a fight, though. But anyway, you have to understand these things were given to us by the Most High. This was not us. This is not because we felt like it. We was bored one day and we said, let's add this to the Bible. No. So just go along with it. You can't go wrong with a feast day. A feast day is a celebration. Who's going against a celebration? After all the hell we catch every day in this kingdom, you don't want to be around fellow like-minded brothers and sisters and just read a nice, beautiful story, break down the precepts, get the essence of the story, get into the spirit, and celebrate and eat and drink and be merry amongst brothers. After you deal with all this captivity, you know, some of us, you on these jobs or, you know, you're trying to run your little business and that's a job. You know, anything you do to make your money, you got to work. You got to put forth effort. You know, so after all that stress and strife you go through, man, you don't want to come and unwind amongst your fellow Hebrews. That's on you. But it says, it shouldn't perish from our seed. 29. And then Esther, the queen, the daughter of Abihail, and Mordecai the Jew wrote with all authority to confirm this second letter of Purim. And he sent the letters unto all the Jews to the 127 provinces of the kingdom of Ahasuerus with words of peace and truth, to confirm these days of Purim in their times appointed, according as Mordecai the Jew and Esther the queen had enjoined them, and as they had decreed for themselves and for their seed, the matters of the fastings and their cry. And the decree of Esther confirmed these matters of Purim, and it was written in the book. And when you go, scholars have proven that this story is in the chronicles of the Persian and Medes, of the ancient Persian Mede kingdom. The story of Esther and Purim is in their chronicles also. All right, so okay. Why is Purim also called Mordecai's Day? This is Esther 10:1. And the king Ahasuerus laid a tribute upon the land and upon the isles of the sea, and all the acts of his power and of his might, and a declaration of the greatness of Mordecai, whereunto the king advanced him. Are they not written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Media and Persia? That just backed up what I said. All right, I forgot that verse was there. I thought that verse was, I knew the verse was there, but I thought it was in another chapter. Just backed up what I just said. That's the spirit. You can't make that up. I forgot that verse was there. All right, I knew about the verse, but I thought it was somewhere. It is written somewhere else when they were going to try to kill, they were going to try to assassinate Ahasuerus. Because the Greeks, what happened when you read the story of Esther is deep. When they was going to try to, before they tried to destroy Israel, the Greeks tried to assassinate the Persian king. They tried to have two eunuchs or chamberlains, and Mordecai found out about it and told the king, there's a plot to assassinate you. And that was written in the chronicles and in the records. So the Persians and the Medes, they had chronicles and records also, and these stories are written in them. Not only here in the scriptures, but scholars have backed it up. All right, verse 3. For Mordecai the Jew was next unto King Ahasuerus, and great among the Jews, and accepted of the multitude of his brethren, seeking the wealth of his people, there you go again, and speaking peace to all his seed. So what's wrong with looking out for our own people? But I read that, y'all can precept this, Esther 10:1-3 with 2 Maccabees 15:36. That right there is why Purim also became known as Mordecai's Day. Because Mordecai was exalted, Salakia, he was exalted by the Persian king. So verse 3 is it right there. All right, Esther 10:1-3. 3 is the main point, or you can put Esther 10:3 with 2 Maccabees 15:36. That's why Purim was also known as Mordecai's Day, because Mordecai was highly exalted. He was highly exalted within that story of Purim also. He was a main key figure that really delivered the nation of Israel. All right, so that's what you'll be celebrating on February 13th, Sunday, and February 14th, so-called Valentine's Day this year. All right, so-called 2022, it's called the Esau's calendar. So you got a whole month, Israel, make preparations and keep these feast days. And if you got to keep them at home, like I said, just open up with prayer, burn your frank and myrrh, get the vibes going in your house, open up with prayer, read the story, close out with prayer, anoint yourself, burn your frank and myrrh, light your menorahs, or whatever the case may be, and eat, drink, and be merry. You can give gifts, portions to the poor, your family, whoever, the congregation, whatever. This is a time of celebration for us. And that's it. That's what you do on these feast days. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's nothing major. All right, you rejoice, have a good time in the spirit, play righteous music, play a little old school or, little rap with a message, because it's not a Sabbath, so you can be flex with the sounds or whatever, and rejoice amongst your brother and sister. Or if you're keeping it at home, rejoice with your family. Or if you're a single-lite, some of y'all living that single life, right? Who's that, Cameo? No folly, Salaki, y'all. Some of y'all living that single life, keep it at home alone. If you don't have nowhere else to go, if you don't have no other brews to get up with, or a city or whatever, ain't nothing. I've done feast days by myself, right by my damn self. You know what I'm saying? When I split up with brothers, or we lost members of the congregation, a lot of members left because of whatever, I did feast days by myself. I had time in Khan. I had time where I was just fellowshipping by myself. I didn't really have no camp. I didn't have no camp or congregation to go to. So I kept the feast by myself in my house. There was a few times, I was just alone. And I did the feast. I still got the calendar, whatever, and I did the feast by myself. All right, so we got to understand that, Israel. All right? So that's what's coming up according to let me get one more, since this is going to be a cold cut, y'all, for those that say, this going to be, for those that say you're adding feast days, you're adding holidays to the Bible. That's not Leviticus 23. Check this out, Israel. This is the rest of the books of Esther in the Apocrypha. Shalakia. The rest of the books of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 16, verses 20 to 24. All right, check this one out. And it says, and ye shall aid them that even the same day, being the 13th day of the 12th month Adar, they may be avenged of them who in the time of their affliction shall set upon them. Now, this is where I get deep, Israel. Check this out. Right here in the story of Purim, the rest of the books of Esther in the Apocrypha, chapter 16 and verse 20, right? When you really read the story of, hey, Brother Sam, Shalom. When you really read the story of Purim, on the 13th day of the month Adar is when Israel went out and slaughtered their enemies. Then on the 14th and 15th day, the Most High said that's when you rest and have a celebrate for those 2 days. After you killed and destroyed Esau and the enemies and the heathens on the 13th day. Now fast forward it to history. Judas Maccabees, he slew Nicanor and the Greek army and the heathen army on the 13th day of the month Adar. So the Most High made that a day of celebration also. It was during the time of Judas history and during the time. So the Most High said, listen, the day before Purim, when y'all slaughtered y'all enemies and then I let y'all celebrate for 2 days, I'm going to make that day a day of celebration in the future, because I'm going to have Judas whoop the hell out of the Greeks in his time. That's deep, Israel. You can't make that up. By Shema Mashiach Yahushai. That's spiritual. And who the hell are you to tell the Most High he can't do that? All right. Reading on. Verse 21. For Almighty Yahweh have turned to joy unto them the day wherein the chosen people should have perish. And that's a cut right there. That's let you know, according to the Bible, the chosen people are the Israelites, the Jews. You can't make this stuff up, man. All right. Verse 22, ye shall therefore among your solemn feasts, there's the word solemn again, keep it an high day with all feasting. You can't get around that, Israel. So all of you is not in Leviticus 23. The Most High added it and said it's a solemn feast and keep it amongst your high holy days. All right, 23, that both now and hereafter there may be safety to us and the well-affected Persians, but to those which do conspire against us a memorial of destruction. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Shalom, sis. All right. A memorial of destruction. All right. 24. Therefore, every city and country whatsoever which shall not do according to these things shall be destroyed without mercy, with fire and sword, and shall be made not only unpassable for men, but also most hateful to wild beasts and fowls forever. This was actually a letter. Shalom, Sister Ahaya. Did I give you the calendar yet? If I didn't, please inbox me, sis, and I'll send it to you. I don't know, but a lot of y'all been asking me for the calendar. Inbox me and I'll send it to you if I haven't already. I know you was asking about the calendar. So the Most High said through the letter, this was a letter that was decreed to reverse. Okay, inbox me, sis, to reverse the decree that was sent against us. And they said, listen, any nation that don't obey this with the Jews, the Israelites, let that nation be destroyed. Their cities be burnt forever. And don't even let the wild beasts dwell there anymore. See that? Most High not playing, man. Shalom, jamming in the building. All right. So keep these feast days, Israel. They represent significant history. Salaki, I'm getting tongue-tied. I don't know why. They represent significant history in our nation. So keep these feasts, Israel. All right. And right there, that's a cut on your it's not Leviticus 23 doctrine. The Most High said, look, I can add whatever the hell I want to add. He told us not to add. In Deuteronomy 4:2 and Revelation 22, I believe 16 on down, 17, 18, something like that. Y'all can read that on your own. He told us not to add or take away. Proverbs 30, he told us not to add or take away from the word. But the Most High could do what the hell he want to do. All right, so keep these feast days. They were added to the Hebrew calendar throughout history to show significant history where the Most High defended us against our enemy in key times where the enemy was trying to destroy us. Y'all can't get around this, man. Y'all can't get around this. All right, let's go to Matthew 16:18. I'm going to close out with that. Yeah, that'll be the last one. There's more, but all the other stuff and the history and dates and different stuff like that we'll cover when the lesson time come up. All right, this is just a brief overview. I want to give everybody a heads up so nobody could say, I didn't know, Elder, the calendar. You see this video, hopefully you see it. Make your preparations. You got a month in advance. You got 2 weeks for the new moon, and you got a month for Feast of Judas, Maccabees, and Purim. No excuses, Israel. Let's get it together and let's fellowship. All right, Matthew 16 and... Oh, shucks. Let me see what I want. Matthew, I just started 18 to get to the point. Matthew 16:18. And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church. Because Peter, for lack of a better expression, quote unquote, he was like the head disciple. All right. Even though Yahushua loved all of them, it says John was his favorite, but Peter was the head. Then Paul became the chiefest. So everybody had their part. All right. But Yahushua said when he come back, the 12 going to sit upon 12 thrones with him, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, and I will, upon this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Meaning what? Nothing's going to stop the church from being built. Nothing going to stop the elect. The apostles, prophets, men of the Lord, they back here on the earth today. We dare not make ourselves amongst the number. Like Paul said, we hope we're amongst that number. That's why we work so damn hard. Because the scriptures say, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. So we work hard for the Hebrew money. which is the kingdom. All right, it says the gates of hell would not prevail against it. Nothing would come against this truth. Nothing will stop this truth. All we got to do is keep enduring. You fall, get up, fall, get up. Only the Most High can keep you down. No man, no woman, I don't care what you go through, Israel. Repent, keep the commandments, be strong, bounce right back. You know, we're going to go through affliction. We're going to catch hell in this captivity. You're going to go ups and downs. I don't know nobody that don't go through nothing in this truth. We all go through something. I go through things. I'm going through things now. I went through things yesterday. I'll be going through things tomorrow. Brothers hit me up all day. Yesterday, I was in the house all day dealing with Israel. All day. Everybody got issues, questions, marriage. Well, I said, well, goddamn, I ain't even got time to think about my problems. Israel all day from the time I woke up yesterday, Thursday, damn it, till now. I ain't been to sleep from Thursday morning. Dealing with Israel and their problems, counseling, 3-hour counsels, counsel people about marriage, counsel people about this, counsel people about their job, scared about the vaccination. I need a letter, elder. I need help, this and that. Just helping my nation. You know, but that's what we do. You know, we endure all things for the elect's sake. All right, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. It's part of the work. It's part of the sacrifice. All right, but anyway, Matthew 16:19, and I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. He will give the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and he will give he'll give Peter everything he need, to teach the gospel and bring back forth the kingdom of heaven. All right, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. So if the Most High ordained it on earth through man, it's ordained in heaven. So if the Most High want to bound a feast day, another feast day, and add it to the Hebrew calendar, who the hell are you to say the Lord can't do that? Because it ain't in Leviticus 23. The Most High can't add nothing at a later date. He told Peter, whatsoever is bound on earth, if I work through man, and I tell man it's okay to bind on earth, it's bound in heaven. It's acknowledged by me. All right. And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. So whatever the Most High allow men to loose on earth, let's say, a brother or sister get in trouble. All right, sit down for a while, brother. Sit down for a while, sister. All right. That's what the agreement was. That's what the order that came down. Fine. All right, 2 months later, okay, we're going to loose that order. We're going to let that brother or sister come back and sit amongst the body. All right, that's what's agreed upon. That's agreed in heaven by the Most High. See that? So who are you to tell the Most High a feast day can't be bound and added to the Hebrew calendar that we keep? All right, whatsoever is bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatsoever is loosed on earth shall be loosed in heaven. If we agree on anything in the spirit of the Mashiach, that's supposed to stand until the Most High show us different. So how much more if our forefathers were given feast days and days of worship when they whipped the hell out of the heathens, who the hell are us to say that we can't add that to the calendar? All right? By Shema Mashiach Yahushai. So that's about it, Israel. So once again, I'm going to recap. Y'all know when I do these videos, I say it about 50, 11 times. What's coming up? New moon 12th month, January 31st, 2022 at even. That's a Monday. Feast of Judas Maccabees, or Day of Judas Maccabees, or Day of Destruction of Nicanor, or Day of Nicanor's death. Saturday, February 12th, 2022 at even. The 2 days of Purim, the Feast of Purim, Mordecai's Day, the remembrance of Esther. All right, and the children of Israel during the time of the Persian Empire. Sunday, February 13th, and Shalom, and Monday, February 14th. No excuse this year. You're not celebrating Valentine's Day. You're celebrating the Purim. Wherever you at. Kind? All right, no excuse. And what are you doing? All these feast days are days of feasting. There's no fasting going on. All right, you don't have to abstain. You can eat your favorite foods, whatever. Knock yourself out. Desserts. You can drink wine, strong drink beer, but drink in moderation. And just pray, read the story, do a closing prayer, anoint yourself, sing your psalms, whatever the case may be. Eat, drink, and be merry. You can give out gifts. They're not Sabbaths. But a new moon is a Sabbath. That Monday evening to Tuesday evening, January 31st to February 1st, that's a Sabbath. But Judas Maccabees Day and the days of Purim, those are not Sabbaths. Those are just days of celebration. You can give gifts, eat, drink, be merry for 3 days straight. Try to take off from work and get all 3 days in. And you better believe we're going to have something going on. H.O.I. going to have something going on for all 3 days. Whether some of the days might just be lives, and some of the days are going to be full services with our congregations in our different cities and states. All right. Like I said, most likely this year, I'm going to be on the East Coast with the family on the East Coast if it be the Most High will. But wherever we at, contact me wherever you at, and Most High will, I have a place for you to go fellowship with H.O.I. or one of our affiliate camps. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. And once again, y'all know I got it on my head, but you know, the menorahs, you know, we had them during the Hanukkah season. My mid-side ones sold out. I'll have more of those coming soon, Most I will. But if you want to order menorahs for the feast days coming up, I got the mega menorah, the 24-inch. Thing damn near bigger than me, with the tribes and the symbols on the bottom. It has Holy Land in English and Paleo Hebrew. And modern Hebrew on the bottom stand, and then that's the design of it. So that's the 14-inch. If anybody's interested in ordering that, inbox me for pricing and ordering details. We also have the 10-inch. The 10-inch has the Shalom on one side and the Jerusalem on the other side. That's the 10-inch. All right, Shalom on one side and Jerusalem on the other. This is one of the more popular selling ones because it's not too big, not too small, just the right size. All right. We got the small desktop, the silver with the bronze. Brother Chucky, I don't openly discuss prices. You can inbox me. All right. And this is the small 5-inch one. It has Shalom on both sides, silver and brass. All right. And y'all can order. Those are the 3 main sizes that I really have a decent amount of in stock right now. But the 15-inch, 16, 18-inch. What else? The 7-inch and the 12-inch. I'll get more of those in stock soon. You know, soon as customs stop being damn simple as hell. All right. Get my damn menorahs out of the Pacific Ocean. But that's another story. But anyway, I have more in stock. Most I will soon. All right. No, you good, Brother Chucky. That's okay. You know, that happens all the time. I just don't do that for personal reasons and stuff I've seen before. I don't openly discuss prices. I mean, people inbox me and then I tell them and they can go tell whoever. But, you know, I don't just openly discuss it. You got to inbox me or email me. All right. So any more information, y'all inbox me here on I'm about to sign out. Y'all can't be typing no damn paragraphs for me to read. No, I'm just messing with y'all. All right. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I'm trying to put my brick in, man. I'm trying to put my brick in. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, Israel. You know, even as an elder. Y'all know, some of y'all been watching. I just reached 50. So 50, according to Numbers of the 8th chapter, 50 is official eldership. You know, I've been in the truth 28 years. You know, and counting, all praise to the Most High Yahushua. I'm not perfect. You know, I've had my shortcomings. I've had my sins. I've had my faults. Proverbs, the book of Proverbs says a just man falls 7 times. I'm not finna sit up here and sit on no holier than thou righteous pedestal. I go through stuff like everybody else. You know, I'm going through stuff myself right now. I'm going to go through stuff tomorrow, and I done been through stuff yesterday, just like all of y'all. And I'm being strong for y'all because, you know, I gotta handle my problems and then be strong for the nation. So, you know, I ask y'all to keep me in prayer like I keep y'all in prayer. Y'all always asking us, pray for me, elder, pray for me. We need prayer too. You know, so we all going through something, Israel, but we going to get through it by the power of the Most High Yahushua. It's going to be all right. Kind? But that's about it, man. So celebrate the feast days. Any other details y'all need? That's really it, man. You know, we ain't got to go so deep into everything, and we'll do that. We'll go a little bit in when we break down the lesson, y'all. You know, we'll feed y'all. All right, but I just want to get y'all prepared. Y'all know what y'all celebrate. Y'all got a general idea of what y'all celebrating. Keep these feast days. All right. Khan, Brother Chucky the water, man. All right. You know, we go way back from the day Levi introduced us, brother. You always been a real one. Always kept up with me too, brother. All praises to water. All right. That's a real brother right there. Brother kept up with me for years, man. But, Khan, you know what I'm saying? But, about to get emotional up here, man. Oh, man, y'all got love for the elder. No, let me stop. No folly. But, keep these feast days, Israel. No excuse. All right, it's coming up. Y'all got advance. Y'all can still burn y'all menorahs during any feast day. It doesn't just have to be the Feast of Dedication. Hit me up. I'll work with you. I'll give you a fair price with shipping and everything, candles, everything you need. We'll work it out, Israel. And keep these feast days, all right? Burn your menorahs on these feast days also. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the light in the temple. Burn your menorahs off. Real quick question. Share the miracles of Christ. Real also with I don't understand what you're saying, brother. Oh, are the miracles of Christ real? What do you think, brother? I know there's a doctrine out here where it's being taught that the miracles of Christ are not real. And if we say that the miracles of Christ are real, then we're saying Christ committed witchcraft. But what about spiritual power? You got to understand the Most High gives men power from on heaven to do things that are not common to everyday man. That's how the Most High shows his power through man. And who was the express image of that? Christ, Yahushua. So of course we believe the miracles of Yahushua. Yes, I believe Yahushua turned water to wine. Yes, I believe he walked on water. Yes, I believe he healed the sick. Yes, I believe he fed 5,000 with 2 fish and some loaves. Yes. If you don't believe it, then that's on you. If you want to say that's witchcraft and blaspheme the Holy Spirit, O thou doctrinator thou, then that's on you, brother. We respectfully disagree. I'm not saying you, brother Daniel, but you got a lot of doctrines out here, brother. Right? And the scriptures say if you have faith as the grain of a mustard seed, you shall move mountains. Where's your faith? I believe a man could walk on water. I believe a man could turn water to wine. Why is that witchcraft? Wine is lawful to drink. Water is lawful to drink. So where's the witchcraft in that? That's just the Most High saying, look, I can take men and show my power through man by doing extraordinary things. That's all that is. That's all that is. But what people want to do, man, they want to doubt the power of the Most High. Let me show you. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 4:20. Let me show you something. The Most High said we're gonna have more. Christ said we're gonna do greater works than him. All right. Like in Daniel, the hand that appeared to wicked king that used the vessel and after was slain. Yeah, you know, I mean, whoever don't want to believe in the stories and the scriptures, that's on them. It's witchcraft, it's sorcery, it's magic. Okay, that's what you believe. Like I said, not you, Brother Daniel, per se, but in general. This is 1 Corinthians 4:20. It says, for the kingdom of Yahweh is not in word, but in power. The Most High going to show his power through man. All right, he said his kingdom is not in just word. He's not going to say, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased and not show power through him. I mean, come on, man. Let's go to Hebrews 6. Hebrews 6:1. Let's read this about spiritual power and the Most High giving us the gifts. All right. It says, therefore, leaving the principles of the doctrine of Yahushua, let us go on unto perfection, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works and of faith toward Yahweh, of the doctrine of baptisms and laying on of hands, meaning healing people, and resurrection of the dead, like when Yahweh shall raise Lazarus from the dead and St. John, and of eternal judgment. You think we're not going to have no power in the kingdom, spiritual power to do miracles in the kingdom, to judge the nations and rule the earth? All right? If Yahweh Shai did it, the apostles did it, we're going to do it also. It says, and this will we do if Yahweh permit. If the Lord will, He going to show us that power. He going to give us that power. Matthew 10. All right? And then I was supposed to sign out, but the brother asked the question. Matthew 10. And let me see, Matthew 10, and we're going to start at 5 with the kingdom. Well, I wish I was talking about the kingdom. Matthew 10 and 5. These 12 Yahweh sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into the city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the leper, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. So Yahweh Shah said even the disciples was going to have that power, all right, to do the things that he did and greater. Because he said, what? I go to my Father. But when he sent them out, he said, I'm going to give you power. I'm going to give you power to go out and do miracles amongst the people. So if they don't want to believe, that's on them. All right, whoever got the doctrine that Christ didn't, and I'm not even mad at brothers. You don't want to believe it, that's on you. We can respectfully disagree. But don't Galatians 1, 6 through 10 me. And some will trouble you and pervert the gospel of Christ. Don't try to force your doctrine on me or tell me if I believe in that, then I believe Christ committed witchcraft. You out of your rabbit-ass mind. That's what you believe in. And I'm a humble brother about this. But when you come with pride with your doctrine, it gets cut and smashed. All right? St. John 10. And let me see. Let me see what I want. St. John 10. And damn, what did I want? What do I want? I want the scripture where Yahweh Shah was speaking to Thomas. And remember, he told Thomas, you believe because you see, but blessed are those that believe and have not seen. All right, remember Yahweh Shah told Thomas that. All right. He said, listen, blessed are they. I'll get it. I'll find it. I'll bring it out on another lesson. If somebody know that precept real quick offhand, they can get it. But yeah, Yahweh Shah, I'm quoting it. Y'all can find it on your own. But Yahweh Shah told Lazarus, he said, you believe because you have seen. But he said, blessed are they that believe and have not seen. So a lot of our people say, well, I wasn't there. You wasn't there. You don't know if these miracles were real. You don't know if this stuff happened. But remember, Yahweh Shah told Thomas that. Because that's where the term doubting Thomas come from. Because they said that Thomas was the disciple of doubting. And Yahweh Shah had to strengthen him and tell him, no, these things, believe. So maybe a brother might say, well, I wasn't there. I didn't see it. It sounds like witchcraft to me. Yahweh Shah said, that's on you. Blessed are those that have not seen and yet believe. All right, if anybody know where that precept is at, put it in the comment board. All right, if anybody know where that precept is, please put it in the comment board. Now I'm tempted. I want to get it. The brother asked a question. I was just shooting from the hip. So like, I don't have that trooper program memory from One West like I used to have. I'm getting up there now. But I don't know. I guess nobody could find the scripture. Or maybe, or the comments. Somebody could find that scripture for me. Find it for me. All right. Where Yahushua told, no, we're not dealing with Ezekiel. I want that scripture with Yahushua and Thomas, where they're going back and forth. And Yahushua tells, well, y'all can find it on your own. All right. Okay, brother, but yeah, we was speaking about something else right now. All right. But Yahushua told Thomas that. All right. I'll post a scripture in the comments when I close out the video. I'll post the scripture in the comments where Yahushua basically he told Thomas, blessed are they that believe but yet have not seen. All right. Yeah, beautiful. The water. Who came through? My man Tobit. All right, Tobit. H.O.I, New York, New Jersey. My man. I don't know why I always think that scripture is in St. John 20. This is St. John 20 and 26. And after 8 days again, his disciples were within, and Thomas was with them. And then came Yahushua, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst and said, peace be unto you. Then saith he to Thomas, reach hither thy finger, and behold my hands, and reach hither thy hand, and thrust it into my side, and be not faithless, but believing. See, a lot of brothers, man, they don't have no faith, man. That's what it come down to. A lot of brothers don't have no faith. The water, y'all. All right? A lot of brothers don't have no faith, and that's what it comes down to. Faith. Brothers can't believe that these things can happen, that the Most High can allow these things to happen. Brothers can't believe that. You read certain things in the scriptures, and your spirit pumps its brakes. You got an automatic damn brake pad on your spirit. Wait a minute. That couldn't happen. Where's your faith? The Most High can do anything, and it don't have to be witchcraft. All right? Then saith he to Thomas, no, verse 28. And Thomas answered and said unto him, my Lord and my God. Yahushua said, my Lord and my power. And Yahushua saith unto him, Thomas, because thou hast seen, thou hast believed. Blessed are they that have not seen and yet have believed. Maybe you have not seen the miracles and the power as of yet. I seen the miracles and the power of the Most High. Through prayer, I seen people get healed. I seen people come against the servants of the Lord and talk crap about brothers, threaten brothers' lives, talk against the Most High, talk against the word, and I seen the Lord jack them up. Y'all see all the time, and this is not to boast and brag, but H.O.I, every time we teaching, we say something, well, not every time, but a lot of times we're teaching, we say something, and then it manifests right in front of our face. That's the power of the Most High. How can we say something before it even happened? That's got to be the Lord putting in our mind. That's what brothers don't understand. It was just Yahushua, the Most High giving Yahushua to show the people power through miracles. That's all. Look, I'm going to take this water and turn it into wine. That's the power that I got because I'm the son of the Father. How hard is that to understand? Why that got to be witchcraft? There's no crime in believing that stuff can happen. But that's on you. All right? We have a difference in understanding the scripture. That's on you. We respectfully disagree. I'm not going be all bent out of shape because, I don't get doctrine pride and get all mad because brothers don't believe something that I believe. All right. Yeah, you typing a little bit too much, brother. That you're kind of all over the place, brother. You mad at the Lord because of the curses? Come on, brother. All right, you drink coffee all the time, brother. Just repent, get in your scriptures. No disrespect, brother, but you're kind of all over the place. All right. Repent, keep the commandments, read these scriptures, pray, fast, study, get in the spirit, and do what you got to do to serve the Lord, brother. And that stuff, you know, I don't mean to be mean or nothing, brother, but you kind of just all over the place. All right, you drink a lot of coffee and you're angry at the Most High. You can't be angry at the Most High. The Most High will smack the hell out of you. And I don't mean to say that to be disrespectful, but who are we to be mad at the Lord? He put us in these curses because the Most High was angry at Israel for our disobedience. That's why we in these curses. So no disrespect to you, Brother Daniel. I love you like I love all of Israel. I don't really know you like that, but get your mind and your spirit right, brother, and just let the Most High work with you. All right? And you don't have to drink a whole bunch of coffee and be angry at the Lord. All right? So that's it, Israel. Much love, brother. No disrespect. And Salakia, y'all. I hope y'all don't feel like I was being mean to the brother. But we wasn't really dealing with that. We went off into a tangent. I wanted y'all to get the gist of the feast days. All right. Oh, confessions. Oh, not coffee. Damn it. Spell check. I mean, Salakia, brother. It came out coffee. I'm like, what the hell? You drinking a lot of coffee and you angry at the Most High. No folly, no folly, no folly. But that's it, Israel. Keep the commandments, keep the faith, and don't be afraid to tell a white man he's the devil to his goddamn face. My brother out of sight, Elijah, H.O.I, Bruce City, Milwaukee. That's a quote from his Keeping the Commandments, Keeping the Faith classic song. But that's it, Israel. Happy New Moon, 12th month. All right. Happy Feast of Judas Maccabees. Happy Purim, day 1 and day 2. That was a brief lesson so y'all can understand what y'all celebrating, what y'all reading about, and what to do, what to celebrate during these feast days. And I want a gift from every single one of y'all for both days of Purim. I want 2 gifts from y'all for both days of Purim. Now I'll just mess with y'all. All right. And the water to y'all that supported the eldership, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh Shah. But I want 2 damn gifts for Purim. Nah, just messing with y'all. No folly, no folly. So keep the feast. Contact me. If you're interested in the menorahs, I'll hook you up, give you a decent price. You can have your menorahs to burn during the feast days. You'll have them for next year's Feast of Dedication if we still in this damn wicked captivity. If the Most I don't have Russia blow up Ukraine, and then America, China, and Russia all blow each other up, and the chariots come, and we get out of here. If that don't happen and we still here, you'll have your menorahs for Purim, Passover, all the feast days. So contact me if you're interested and get this word. All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Once again, happy new moon, happy pre-new moon, 12th month. Happy day of Judas Maccabees, day of destruction of Nicanor. Happy Purim, day 1 and day 2. Everybody celebrate, eat, drink, and be merry. Do all things in order and decency. Eat, drink, order, and decency. And all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach Yahushai forever and ever. Amen. All right. Yeah, the 90s music, brother, I'm having a problem downloading it from my phone. I don't know. I'm going to have to get somebody from the Hebrew Greek Geek Squad that can get the music out of my phone for me so I can start sending it out to everybody. It's hard to extract. It's not letting me send it out. I'm trying to send it to my email. I don't know. But I'll get somebody that's more tech savvy and we'll figure it out. I know I promised a lot of y'all that 90s music a long time ago, but I'm not able to get it out of my phone. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. H.O.I to the chariots fly. Priest Zabach. All praises to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai forever and ever. Amen. All the camps in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai forever and ever. Amen. Israel, let's remember to lift each other up and keep each other up in prayer. And let's be strong in these last days. Do this work. Serve our nation and get this kingdom if it be the Most High will. And it is his will to give Israel a kingdom. So once again, Priest Zabach, H.O.I to the chariots fly. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. H.O.I pull up, boys. Bring it out. All the camps in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Happy upcoming feast day. Love y'all, Israel. Y'all have a blessed and productive day. Have a blessed and productive Sabbath. Get at me for more information on the feast days. Get at me to support the menorahs if y'all need them in your homes. And let's do this. Let's get this work in righteousness and get this kingdom. By Hashem Mashiach Yahushai. Kwame Ashala, we still got next. Hallelujah. Shalom.